Hey guys, welcome back. This is the YouTube series, the series on YouTube data from machinelovus.com. I'm just going to skip to the end right now and show you what we are going to have by the end of this. You'll remember in part 4, if you watch that, that we end up with a scatter plot that looks a little bit like this. I decided to change the axes to just views and the x-axis to views and the y-axis to likes directly. But we'll end up in a place where you can hover over these data points and then you see the icons down there. Okay, we have this text on the side. We'll go over what that is. We have a nice title, and we can pan and zoom and check out what these videos are. And so what's also pretty neat is that all of this is controlled by a search term up here. And if I change this search term, and then I restart and run all, we're going to see what happens in just a second. And eventually what we're going to do is get this to a point where we take it out of the notebook, put it into some testable, tested code, and and actually produce some reports, maybe PDF reports, maybe HTML that we can put on our site. Okay, so this regenerated, and I use the search term keto, and I should be able to, right, so now instead of data science, we have keto. Look at this, 3 million views for this one video about keto. I tried the keto diet, so you don't have to. So many likes, nearly 140,000. I'd like to get there someday. And this text on the right changed. So if you're interested in seeing how we do this, tune in. Subscribe, check it out, and let's go through it. Okay, so let's go back to the top and look through this code and work a little bit backwards. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this code that we have in core.py in tube analysis, and what I'm going to do here is take a look at some of the other things that we were saving in previously. This search result, we were only saving the title and the ID. But if you looked into what this search result actually returns, there's a lot more information. There's in the snippets here, there's a description of the video, which I ultimately decided not to use. We might use it later, so we'll hang on to that. There's the thumbnails, and then in the thumbnails, there is the URL that we can get for the large version, the high quality thumbnail video, and that's what we will use in the scatter plot. So we need to keep that. Okay, and so that goes into our videos dict, and you'll remember all of this from prior videos, so I'm not going to go through it too much. And then in the loop, I have a little print statement here as checking things out. I encourage you to print out results and take a look at them as you work through things. We add those description and thumbnails. Now, I haven't cleaned up this code. Certainly there's a way to do it, so it's a bit neater. There's two for loops here. Potentially we could reduce those down to 1. We'll have to think about that in other videos, or maybe you could take it on as something you could do yourself. But we essentially add more data that we're going to return back to our Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so let's go back to the top here. So instead of all of this should be familiar. These are our imports. Results, we just put the result in directly here. But instead of doing that, instead of saying data science right here, I'm going to take that out and replace it with the variable search term, which I define up here. Search term is data science. Okay, and actually let me just restart and clear all this output, and then we'll just run it together, and we will work through this notebook together right now. And what I can do is add a title first of all, YouTube data analysis, generating view reports. Okay, and then set it to markdown so that we get a nice title. Okay, so now I'd like to take a look at the results And all of this is from the prior video where we set this up. But now we have the description, right? So learn data science in 3 months. Description, I've created a 3-month curriculum to help you go from absolute beginner to proficient in the art of data science. Okay, so we have that description. We have the thumbnail for this that we could check out. It's right at that URL. Okay, great. So there's Siraj. Okay, so now we take our results, which is a list of dictionaries, put them into a data frame, right? And then we have the comment count, dislike count, favorite count, like count, thumbnail, title, view count. Great. If we describe, we see our 44 results. We hit output notebook, which will just allow us to view the results in line in the notebook. I'm going to set likes and views. Down here I had log likes and log views. Not going to use them for this video. Okay, and just checking out some more descriptive statistics. I don't need this .head view anymore, and we have described this already. Okay, so what I need to get, what I want to get is the most liked video in the data frame and get the title of it so that we can present it to sort of readers later on. Okay, so let's just walk through what I'm doing here. I'm just making things more neat. Okay, so the most liked video is the one in the data frame where likes is max. Okay, and then I create a new data frame, most liked video, which is where the likes are equal to the max most likes. And then convert that to a dictionary, and you can see that the dictionary here is at index 0 on these keys. And it's what really is data science as told by a data scientist. So I want to keep that. And to do that, what I do is I convert, I get the values of dict title. Now in Python 2.7, I would have just been able to do this. But in Python 3, you get what's called a view here, dict values. And so you have to convert it directly to a list. And then there you go. At the index 0 on the list, we have, of the title, we have this. Okay, so this is what we'll present in our, on the side of our document. So let's go through what's new in the meat of this project here. I'm going to just take out all of my imports because I was doing this before. There's a lot here, so let's go through it. So the glyphs is the image URL. Actually, don't wind up using this, but you could use this if you wanted images instead of data points. Row, column, spacer are in bokeh layouts, and so if you want to have your scatter plots side by side, you'd use row. If you'd want them vertically, column, and then a spacer is neat, which can provide space between your different plots, which comes in useful for us. Numerical tick formatter will get us nicely formatted axes. Paragraph, pretext, and div are all widgets, and they're all glyphs. I believe they're glyphs that you can use, that you can put in. I experiment with them, and eventually for the text that goes on the side of the scatter plot, let me just run this to show you, and I need to import these things. This is the div. Okay, so this could have been text or pretext, but I decided to go with a div here, okay? Okay, so let's go over the tooltips, and here I'm using a custom tooltips on the figure. So let's break this out into its own separate line so you can see what's going on. So for tooltips, you can set a custom tooltips. In the prior video, we just sort of used the default kind, but you can actually make it into a div and set the image here is the thumbnail that we've saved that thumbnail into our data frame. I'm not sure if you recall that we did that, but that's right here, that thumbnail. And so we can pass that in And that's how we will get our scatterplot points to show the thumbnail in the scatterplot on the hover. Okay, and so we just style it up and add a border. And same thing for title. We're just going to add the title. Now we could add the description and the likes and the views, but things get a bit too crowded, so I'm going to leave those out. Let's go through axis and title options in Bokeh. Okay, so we have the x-axis label as views. We have the numerical tick formatter, which is neat here. If I just did 0, it wouldn't have any commas between the 1,000 markers. You could put a % sign or a $sign and get the formatting correct for your axes. So that's X, that's Y. And then what we have is the title, YouTube, video statistics, align left, color gray, font size 25 pixels. And then what I'm going to do here is start to write the text, which is the div on the side of the side of the video. So this thing right here is its own sort of div. And if I do things like, you can increase the width, right? And so you start to push the other side back. So actually 150 width might be a nice sort of best of all worlds here. Now I add a spacer, and let me get into that quick. So the space is the spacer here. And if I didn't have a spacer, let's remove it out of the show row. Let's make something called the final layout here. So I separate it out from the show. And if I didn't have a space, you'll see that things start to get cut off. Okay, so the space allows this nice sort of separation in here, which is great. Okay, so then I just started writing in the div, added some HTML. Here's the search term that we set above. The most popular 0 title is what we did above right here to get the most popular video. And so this text, when we add it to our final layout, the first thing on the row, see, I could put it, I don't need to put it first. I could put P first, space, and then text here. And it would be on that side. I really want it on that side though. Okay, and then everything else is similar. We add the circle, which is how we generate these, the scatterplot views and likes, size, alpha, color. Let's take out the alpha. We'll just do 1.0. Okay, and now we have, actually, .7 seems like it'd be good. And then we have our column data source, which is what we saw in the previous video. And we generate this nice chart, and we can search for anything. Now I'm kind of at a loss for what to search for. Why don't we just search for cats and then see what that gives us here. So this becomes a highly versatile tool that you can use, and that we will next time take out and put onto the website and maybe generate a PDF report of it. I'm not sure. So top 200 highlights of animals, very funny animals, has gotten over, what is that, 120 million views. Incredible. And so you can see just how powerful this report is, and we could just keep running this and generating these sort of reports, these interactive graphics here. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and follow along, and we will be back to do more analysis formatting of these YouTube video statistics. Thanks for tuning in.